So I know I haven't done a video in a while. I've got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, trying to really make my channel work. I know it was going hard for a while, and I said it again, my last video. But I know I haven't made one in a while on the Justin Comer show, and I apologize for that. But I'm trying to do what I can now to make videos happen. But eventually they will get better. It'll be an actual podcast this time. Not so sure with the video cast, but I'll get into details later in another video with what I'm going to do in the future. So, I mean, if you want great content, if you want the truth about things, stay tuned with it. I'm going to supply that as best as I can for everyone and anyone that wants to watch and learn and see what the New World Order is really up to in regards to total control of your life. And one of the things that I really wanted to discuss about was marijuana control. Really keeping weed illegal and making it harder for everybody to access it and keeping it criminalized, and why it's so criminalized in Schedule 1 and all that stuff. And the states that are doing it right by decriminalizing and legalizing it, even for medical purposes, it's like little stepping stones to try and knock it down and make it completely legal across all 50 states, hopefully eventually. And a lot of states have really moved to that point already. So really, it's the point of making it to where we don't really need prescription drugs anymore. But see, that would destroy a huge industry that makes billions of dollars, annually, and and kills off a bunch of people, and and profits from it. And and people are just so zombie minded that they would take it as if the doctor's orders are correct. As a doctor, he's got a degree, he's got he went to doctor school for 8 years, like he's, medical school for 8 years. He knows what he's doing. But at the same time, even some of the doctors don't, and it's killing a lot. It's like the vaccine epidemic. It's a whole different level. But you can't legalize something that would destroy a multi-billion-dollar industry that has years of history with it. But marijuana goes back even thousands to hundreds of thousands of years. I mean, it's been on the planet for as long as herbs have been growing from the ground. So it's got incredible benefits to it. And we would just be such an advantage if it was legalized. But it won't be for a while in some of the southern Bible Belt states, just because of the profits that people are making off prescription drugs. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows someone that takes these prescription drugs. I won't go into details on who I know, but I know what they do to you, what they can do. Every mass shooting in history, in American history at least, and probably for most parts of the world, have been because of prescription drugs. And it's on record. Everyone can look back to Columbine, to the Aurora shooting, to Sandy Hook. It's all been pills involved in the slaughter of people, and then the government and media blames it on guns and knives to try and take that away, but they won't take away the real problem, which is prescription drugs to begin with. And and marijuana has never really caused anyone to go on a rampage and go kill somebody. It's really just a chill thing. It really actually has proven to even make driving safer versus alcohol. And it's funny because I'm not against alcohol being legalized. I think the more you legalize some substance, the less the black market gets involved, the more it becomes something that people can use and people actually don't end up using at all. Black market things, just like a kid that, you're in high school, you can't drink, but you're going to drink anyway because you get curious and you do it. And hey, guess what? You had your first drink at like 14, 15, 16, and you're well below 21 when you should drink. And then, people smoke cigarettes, but cigarettes and tobacco kill like almost 50 times more than all the illegal drugs combined. And it's just sad. And it is an epidemic. But at the same time, there should be more rehabilitation involved in getting people off of it instead of sending someone to prison for, having a dime bag on them, for several some odd years in prison just because they can't keep it together. You can't. The DEA and the FDA, whatever you want, doesn't want to keep weed legal because it will destroy the mega empire that is the pharmaceutical industry, and that's the truth about it. It will destroy it. Colorado's already seen profits. I mean, and it's crazy because You would think that people that want to hoard all the money and make as much as possible would legalize it. But at the same time, we won't kill you, and it's not part of the depopulation agenda. Sure, it can make you kind of little dumb here and there. Some people that do too much, you can tell, be like, okay, you need to relax. But if you do it for good purposes and you just do it, I mean, because you want to, I mean, who's to stop you? I mean, you're gonna drink because you want to. You're gonna smoke cigarettes because you want to. No one's gonna stop you from doing that. But it can kill you. Even the withdrawal from alcohol can kill you, but heroin won't. There's people that do heroin and get off of it that smoke cigarettes and won't quit cigarettes. I mean, it's just a whole different level of addiction. And the fact that weed can't be legalized in all 50 states is just insane. And it's deliberate and it's on purpose. And, I mean, you can extract different oils from it. You can take CBD and stuff and extract it and make it something that is beneficial towards something that you need without getting high. Because some people are scared to get high. There's plenty of people that have never been high before that maybe want to try the oils because they've heard on the news or on advertisements or what have you, and they want to try the oils just so they can understand what it takes to get such a substance and not be high and feel better. Let it be with Alzheimer's or hell, even pain relief or something like that. But THC isn't bad for you either. THC, we have the we have the receptors embedded in our brains to receive that and accept it and utilize it towards something that we can make better towards our bodies and mind. And prescription drugs really don't have that. Honestly, at the time, it's false diagnosis. They try and get kids at an early age to try and get into this ADHD little program. They call them 404 programs, whatever. In my school that I went to, they tried to get me into that. I didn't want it. I don't want to take medication. I've always been against medication, unless it's for something strictly like for. I mean, I just got my wisdom tooth pulled not too long ago, strictly for pain. I don't like taking pills in general, unless it's like a straight good vitamin, something good that something that has good extracts in it that is proven good that what have you. But when it comes to mind-altering substances, SSRIs and things like that, I don't want to. I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to take it. I know what it does to you. I know what it may do to me, and I don't want to try that. I had my fun in high school. I tried a bunch of pills. I smoked weed. I get it. I've done it all pretty much. So it's like, so I kind of have an upper hand on what I'm talking about because I've been high and I've tried CBD, and I'll tell you what. Out of all the stuff I've done, weed is incredible. Weed has done amazing things that nothing else can do. And to be quite honest with you, I can't imagine taking a pill versus taking weed. Even eating a brownie. I mean, they last forever. You bake weed in a brownie for however long you need to bake a brownie, and you eat that, you'll be fine for 6 hours. I mean, you're gonna be pain free. It's great and it won't hurt you. It won't kill you. We won't kill you. Prescription drugs can kill you. They kill an insane amount of people every year, and almost half the country's on them. I mean, probably a solid third of the country is on prescription drugs given by a doctor that doesn't care. They just want to prescribe you something. They can make money. Then you're taking Ambien, you're going crazy and stuff. You mix it with alcohol, you do crazy stuff. You take Zoloft, mix it with alcohol, you're doing something nuts. And I've never, even in high school before I even really knew all this stuff, I never was a fan of mixing pills, whether it be painkillers or what have you, with alcohol, just because I knew it could kill you. And I knew alcohol withdrawal, if you got addicted to alcohol, could kill you. God forbid. So, no one wants to see that happen, but it's real and the possibility is there. And they'll legalize that all day and want to promote it. And they had cigarette commercials that Nixon got rid of, decades ago, back in the '60s. That or the '70s. That hey, we're not going to do that anymore. They got rid of it because they found out that how bad cigarettes are, what's in them, that nicotine's super addicting, and tobacco kills. That the chemicals in cigarettes, there's 4,000 chemicals estimated about in every cigarette. So the fact that they can let that go, but then there's one chemical in marijuana that will get you a little high and doesn't make you do crazy stuff. I mean, most of the time it just really makes people just chilling out. There's a couple strains that'll kind of make you a little more active, but it won't make you want to do crazy stuff and go, slaughter a bunch of people. I've never heard of anyone high on drugs. high on weed, high on drugs is a different thing. High, yeah, there's plenty that do that. High on weed and go and do a mass shooting somewhere. No, it's usually most of the time these people are on SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, that literally alter your brain to the point where you have no emotion, you feel nothing. They zombify you. I mean, it's literally putting you in a dumb state to just put you in a trance to kill you off easier. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It makes it easier for you to be a target towards them. And to be honest, I've never once been. I've been prescribed stuff, but I've never taken it. You know what I mean? I'll never take it. I took the hydros that was prescribed for my tooth, partially because the high is great. I'm not gonna lie, it is great, but at the same time, it really was hurting and it really works. So I wasn't trying to abuse it or anything. It's just it actually works. But once it's gone, it's gone. I don't want it anymore. I'll do it for a little bit. Kids are the worst, most at bay. Adults is not nearly as bad as children taking stuff like that, because kids, like even in adolescence, like in their teen years and the young teens and older teens, like even 18, stuff like that, when your brain really is still developing big time, you're going through changes. That's stuff that's not really good for you. You can't have that. It's going to really alter a kid's mind to the point where they're going to grow up very differently than they would have if they wouldn't have taken the drug. They're going to have a lot of problems. They could get psychological problems. They could be, one of those weebs that sit at home and just addicted to video games and stare at screens all day, just gone. You can just look in their eyes and they're gone. So it could be one of those situations. There's also people that take it with really no hard side effects like that mentally, but there's physical ones where you can gain weight, you can lose weight, but the mental ones seem to be the biggest problems. Let alone that pills. If you take a bunch of them, they'll screw your liver up. That'll destroy your liver. Plus, mixing with alcohol, you're just asking for a catastrophe to happen. So the fact that the federal government hasn't decriminalized or got it at least off the Schedule 1 aspect, which is where heroin, crack, cocaine, meth, and everything else that you can think of that's hard under the sun is just beyond me. And that's why Jeff Sessions being in the AG for the Department of Justice, he was just old school and didn't want to get rid of that. That's one of the only left-wing things that I kind of agree with is decriminalizing weed. And, maybe monitoring it and start, let it be like a guinea pig project. Be like, let's see how it goes across the land, across the contiguous in Alaska and Hawaii. And, hey, if it works out just like it does in other countries, which is fine, then we'll do it, but that's like pulling teeth. And the fact that it does need to be brought down to the 10th Amendment state level where they can self-regulate it to the point where eventually with all 50 states decriminalize it and legalize it, at least for medical purposes and eventually for recreational, would be great. Then I guarantee you see almost like a lot less people doing other drugs. It wouldn't be black marketed. There wouldn't be underground, people getting shot over this stuff. It's just freaking kush, guys. It's not like you're trying to get, Solomon's treasure or something. It's weed. You can grow it in your backyard. It's not a big deal. And the fact that people actually rob for it is insane. Just because it's illegal, and the government creates underground markets. They let the drugs in, create the underground markets, and destroy communities, whole communities over it. That's just what they do, and that's what's on record. There's even with the Fast and Furious thing with weapons, they do the same thing. Import the weapons, let the drug cartels take care of it, handle them, and you got yourself a mafia pretty much. You created a mafia. You created a cartel. You extended the power of the cartel. So. It's the fact that it needs to be decriminalized. It needs to be legalized. The prescription drugs really do need to die down. Oh, and that'd be one industry also, besides all the illegal hard drugs. Now, honestly, the prescription drugs would see probably one of the biggest drops just because, one, it needs to happen. And two, people would be like in a more understanding phase of seeing that you can use weed for the same problems you have versus prescription drug use and get the same effects, get the same results. Kind of like, prescription drugs zombify you. Weed can zombify you, but it's only temporary and it won't permanently damage everything that you've basically grown into in your brain. you'll have of course everything has side effects. Weed has side effects, yeah, like it makes you eat different hunger. I got acid reflux when I did it big time because I used to get high and eat a lot, and then I passed right out after that. And it's like, oh crap, I wake up with acid reflux, and yeah, acid reflux can be some serious damage, but the weed didn't do it. Eating a lot the night before and laying on my back, falling asleep did. Laying in different positions did, just or falling asleep immediately after you eat in general, whether you're sober or not, did it. The weed didn't do it. Weed can't kill you. You'd have to smoke, about your own weight pretty much to die. That's rumor has it, because no one's ever tried it. It's impossible. It's impossible to die from weed. You'd have to have it mixed with something. You have to lace it with something, which the lace product would kill you, not the weed. See what I'm saying? So, as much as I agree with the weed aspect, I do think at first let the independent market, let the private sector take care of it. And then obviously there's going to be government regulation over it. There is over alcohol. There's going to be government regulation over cigarettes, everything. So there's going to be government regulation, which is fine as long as you don't overpower and tell me when I can and can't smoke it. It's okay. But besides that, it's got to be legalized soon. We've got to get people off prescription drugs. We've got to get the bad, hard drugs, the people that do them back in rehabilitation centers, get them off of it, see that it's an awful thing, get rid of the black market, and it'll work itself out. I swear to God, it'll save itself. That's exactly how you do it. It's by decriminalizing. You can almost decriminalize any drug and it'll do the same thing. Less people use it. That's just what happens. It's not as tempting anymore. It's there. You don't really want to try it. It's like, okay, whatever. I got a whole thing of beer in my fridge. Like, I don't really want to drink it because I'm old enough to do it. And it's like, I will drink it, once in a blue, but I don't want to do it all the time. It's old. So it'll be the same thing with, illegal drugs, and especially marijuana. That should be the first start once it's legalized. Just really guinea pig it, let it get going and work itself out. So I know I could have probably done a better video, guys, on it. If you want to add more comments and more input to this that I could probably perform better in future podcasts, whatever, video casts, just please put a link down for articles, whatever you want in the prescription. You can comment whatever you want. I don't get rid of comments like these numbnut left-wing YouTube sites do. But yeah, just stay tuned for more. I'll make random videos like this up until I get a real podcast going, and I'm trying to set the funds for it to make this thing really pop. And we can talk about more hardcore stuff just besides Kush. So you guys take it easy. Stay awake, be aware, and let's make America great again. Later. Justin Comer Show. Thanks, guys.